Hi y'all, I'm Allison. We're going to be continuing on with the Start and Stop Buddy read of The Devil in the Dark Water. We're on our fourth stop, and this book was recommended by Kim over at Expedition Through Pages, as you very well know by now. So if you've just stumbled on this series, then you're going to want to go back to the first one because we are spoiling this book all the way through. But we would love to have you join us. So you can just start with the first one and hopefully you'll feel like you were there with us from the very get-go. Now, before we go any further, you want to make sure that you are synced up with me by using our magical paragraph. So you should have already run across her eyes prodded at the furnishings, searching for some other explanation. In my edition, which is the same as the Kindle, this would have been found on page 387. The other paperback edition would put you at page 438 or thereabout. Hardcover, you should be at page 362, again, or right around it. And for my audio listeners, you should be at about 13 hours and 36 minutes, or somewhere within that vicinity. So provided that you were there, and then we are all synced up and we can continue on. I'm really enjoying our discussions and our debates on whether there is a supernatural element in this or not. I keep wavering back and forth, as you all know. But I think I have a new theory that occurred to me today when I was going to the grocery store. And one thing we haven't mentioned before is that old Tom is sending everybody after the Governor General. He's not telling everybody to kill their own personal nemesis or anything like that. He is targeting the Governor General only. So I would say whatever force or person is behind this has a personal beef with the Governor General. And I have a theory on who it is, but I am not going to say it. I'm going to read my pages for today, see if it feeds into my little theory, and if it does, then I think I'll let y'all in on it a little bit later on. And if not, then I'll tell you who I was suspecting, but I think for now, I'm going to keep that little tidbit for myself and let you wonder, see if you come up with it too. Okay, let's go. Move into the living room. Maybe the cats will join us. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But I've got some reading to do. I will see you in a second. I didn't realize my light was so bright. So hopefully we weren't washed out earlier. Okay. I think I'm ready. Am I the only one who does this? No matter what the temperature is, I'm just always more comfortable with a blanket. Okay. There's something about a couch that just screams blanket. I was going to say I'd have no idea where we left off, but I just remembered they were about to go get the folly. So we get to find out what's in there for sure. At least I hope. Okay, I'm going in, and I will be commenting as I go along. It's going to be nice to just kick back and read for a bit. Okay, remember what I said about the blanket? Never mind, it's too warm. Oh, that's right. So they were in that tempest, and that's just blown over, right? And they were going to go down to get the folly. Yeah, well, right. It is a navigational tool. I thought it was a portal that was going to let all demons into the ship. But I was really embracing the supernatural element at the beginning. Now I'm not so sure. Although that would be really significant back in the day of the shipping, if they were the first ones to, if the East India Company or whatever it was called, if they were the first ones to have some kind of a navigational device, that would have been a game changer. They would have been so far ahead of their competition. That thing would have been priceless. Did somebody take the folly out of the box when they put the mark of old Tom on it? They did. The constable's one of my favorite characters. I don't want him to be lashed I'm so glad we finally get more of Pips, and he's doing some Sherlocking. So hopefully he'll be able to pinpoint where the folly is before the constable is actually beaten. I really don't want the constable to be hurt. Oh my God. Okay, it was great seeing Sammy actually out of his cell and in action, trying to determine what happened to the folly. Which I liked that. I'm still. My theory still stands, despite what is happening. And the Governor General is just. I know this would be a reasonable response to something going missing on a ship like this, because there absolutely cannot be any appearance of the officers not being in control, because you could end up with mutiny out at sea. You really have to rule with an iron fist. But lashing and the constable, he's one of my favorites. I love him. It's so, my heart breaks for him. And the fact that the Governor General is going to lash somebody every day until they discover who is in cahoots with the constable, just, I cannot stand him. I did notice, though, that Arendt, when he was whispering to the constable right before the lashing was going to begin, that there comes a day for bastards like the Governor General and Voss. So seems like any familial feelings that he once had for the Governor General are long gone. So I did find that interesting. And I like how he tried to give the constable some solace with sharing his own experience with the lash with him, but it's just heartbreaking to see. I don't want to read this. I don't want to. Okay. Yes, now there is a clear divide between the officers and the crew, because they are not happy that the constable was lashed. So I don't know, maybe that won't avoid a mutiny anyway. So the little figures aren't magical after all. It's just well balanced. I'm trying so hard to get some supernatural element in here. But honestly, I don't think there is one. Wait, when they were following the leper, who was it? Was it Larm that was opening this secret compartment? And they also heard scraping sound in the Viscountess's room. I'm going to call it right now. The folly is in a secret compartment in the Viscountess's room. Although I don't think there's room in theirs. I take that one back. It was hidden down by the leper in that compartment. What do you think? Okay, it's confirming my theory. Although the more I think about it, the more unlikely it probably is. I was going to try to not throw a whole bunch of new theories at everybody, because there's so many theories going around that it can, cause you to go, wait, what? But I'm going to do it. I'm throwing out a new one. I think Leah is behind at least part of it. She's very intelligent, and she definitely has a grudge against her father based on the treatment that she's seen her mother subjected to. She would be smart enough to pull off, all of these supernatural events. So I'm thinking she has a role to play in this. Because like I said, once you realize that Uncle Tom was definitely targeting the general governor with the voices. You know, everybody's saying kill the general governor. And the people who have grievances, well, granted, you know, most of them have a grievance against him. But Leah, you know, watching her mother be hurt and now her own mistreatment that she just was talking to Creasy about, I think she could very well be the mastermind behind all of this supernatural stuff. So what do y'all think? Do you think I'm onto something with that one, or, you know, just throwing out another scenario where it's like, no. Food for thought. Okay, so they are in fact shielding Leah because of her intelligence, because Orant said that the same thing has happened to Sammy, so that's why she's been sequestered. Ah, she invented the folly. I did not make that connection. Oh, the fight with Wick might be back on. Yep, they want to... The fight's back on. And now that there's this divide between the crew and the officers, this fight could get really, really ugly. I forgot what the trade was. Was that to get information? I know it was information, but information for what? Or what kind of information? Oh, that's right, the word and about Bosie. I forgot. Okay. Okay, I did not expect that at all. They found the predicant in the wall. Whoa, I forgot about him again. So who killed him? I don't think Leah would kill. So, you know, maybe my theory was wrong. Oh, he'd been in that compartment for weeks after dying. That would have... Yeah, that would have been quite gruesome. Yeah, I don't know. Since it's now a fight with blades, I think I would agree with Dretch that Wick has no plan of sticking with their agreement. I think he is intending to kill him. I don't think he's going to answer the questions, and never had any intention to do so. Damn, that fight. Okay, so we know trap is what Bosie was building, but a trap for who? Is he trying to trap somebody? Duh, that's what a trap is. But... yeah, it just poses more questions. What kind of a trap? For who? For what? Ew, the stitches. Yuck. That gives me the willies. Wow. Now I know why they chose that ship with Dretch's past with the Governor General and the slaughter at Banda. Though I don't know, was the... Yeah, that's how he knows the captain. So was Krause in on that too? I'm surprised by that. For some reason, I thought he was nicer than, you know, the others. I didn't think he was part of it. Okay, so Larm has destroyed part of the folly, which if word of that gets out, the general will not be happy. And we now know why Bosie's tongue was cut out. And I believe what he's telling him. I think that all fits. I don't think he has any reason to have given a false story. So I'm gonna say that part of it is resolved for me, or at least it's starting to make sense. Yeah, I was starting to wonder how all of a sudden Sarah has free reign of the ship and so does Sammy. But they explain that the general governor is in his cabin licking his wounds ranting and raving because of the folly is missing. We still have that other crate that was loaded onto the ship during the night before everybody boarded to set sail. So there hasn't been any more mention of that one. I do like how frequently we get a summary. Sammy is just going into his little speech, wrapping up what's been happening to this point. And I appreciate that recap because there is so much going on to untangle and work your way through that it's nice to have it all succinctly laid out for you as a reminder. Yeah, Sammy nailed it on the head. Whether it's a devil dressed as a man, so a true supernatural possession, or a man dressed as a devil. Just no supernatural element at all. Uh-oh. So Voss just tricked Arendt and has hit him over the head, sending him into the water. Oh, wait, it's the bilge water in the ship. Okay. Oh, no, he's bound and gagged. So Voss is carving the mark of Old Tom onto the pillar. Okay, so Voss didn't get the folly. What did he take? Yeah, so he is using fear of the superstitions and everything to mask his crimes. Because he's threatening to kill Arendt and just carve the symbol in his chest. Because nobody will question it. They'll just assume that Old Tom is doing it. The leper's there. By the way, it was Tabara's Den, I think, that was offered up the opinion that the leper may actually be helping Arendt and Sarah, because he did lead them down to, where was it, the cargo hold, where they found the altar and everything. So maybe, hopefully, the leper's coming to Arendt's aid and is going to get him out of there. Okay, so how would the leper smell a rosary? And as you said, he could hear it breathing, and the dead don't breathe. So it's a man. Somebody, in disguise. And it did save Arendt. Whoever it is. But they do seem a little bit unhinged. I wonder if it is his father. So now Voss is dead. And he admitted to... What did he stole something else. He didn't steal... He said right thief, wrong crime. So I don't know, what did he steal? What else was missing? I can't think of anything being mentioned. Oh, he's just stealing everything. Okay, they answered that question. At least something's being cleared up. Oh, so he's not... Voss wasn't the one who was initially carving the symbols. He was just taking advantage of the fear. So kind of like a copycat crime. Which is actually a good idea. But so I guess Voss was one of the families that was affected by Old Tom back in the day. Things just are not going Arendt's way. He is having a hell of a day. Oh, that rhymed. Didn't get any better because now he wants to flog 2 people a day because there's 2 accomplices to taking the folly. Emily Haviland. Where did her name come up earlier? I don't know the significance of who Han went to see. One of the passengers. Is it the Viscountess? And then the Eighth Lantern comes on. So the Governor General is crying after spending 2 hours in the room. What did I miss? Yeah, the ship, whether there is, old Tom is the devil or a demon, it may not matter because everybody on board is so high strung with just the threat of it that the whole ship's just a powder keg waiting to go off. Okay, I got up to get another Diet Coke and everything, and Lily scooted closer to my spot. So, once again, in a very small section of the couch. Okay, I only have a few pages left. Getting close. Yes, excuse me, Lily. Am I disturbing you? Okay, that was creepy. It was, Crowles was just answering Isabel's question on what the dark water is. He said that the old settlers call it the soul. They reckon our sins lie beneath it like wrecks on the ocean bed. Dark water is our soul, and old Tom is swimming within it. And that's when the eighth light sprang onto life. With light, this light splashing through the windows onto their horrified faces, much closer than it had ever been before, and it burned red. Okay, that was creepy. Even though I don't think there's a supernatural element, but that was creepy. Ew. And the maggots to clean his wounds. Okay, so old Tom wanted Wick to kill Orange, which that's the first time there's been any talk of old Tom targeting anybody other than the governor, general governor, whatever he is, general jerk. And Wick recognized him because he had dealt with him in the past, so I don't know who it could have been. Man. Okay, just when I say there's nothing supernatural, you get the fog and everything, then the leper comes and he's attacking Wick, I guess. So he's dead. Long enough ago that his body actually went cold. Okay, I did not see that coming. Not yet anyway. I thought he would go down after some fight scene and somebody would, there would be a big showdown and a speech or something. I didn't expect him to just fade out like that. Wow. Their panic at seeing the light is probably what's going to be their undoing without the other ship necessarily even doing anything. Well, hello, Finley. We're almost done. Cozy little group on one cushion of the couch. Ew, Wick was gutted. At least Sammy's gonna be freed. Man. So Isabel is being implicated because of the paprika? That was one of the cast down the storage, right? It was that the significance. I thought that's what it was. Or did I get that wrong? Because I think that's what I said in a comment, that Isabel smelling of paprika meant she was somewhere that she didn't belong. I hope I had that right. Because I thought it was one of the spices. Yeah, it's one of the spices they're transporting. So it was down in the cargo hold. Right? Don't bite her eye. Oh, man. What a stopping point. So they are inspecting the Governor General's room after he died, and we don't know if they found anything of significance. Okay, yeah, there is a lot to unpack in this one, and I don't know. I'm gonna mull it over for a few minutes. Switch rooms where the lighting's a little better, and I'm not crammed into a small portion of the couch. So I will be back once we get to my normal little cubby hole. So close. Man, a lot happened tonight. Okay, let me see if I can wrap my head around this. Because, let's see, Voss, we found out what he was up to and where his fortune was going to come from that prompted him to propose. And that was he had been stealing. So, even though he was accused of still taking the folly, he didn't. He had his own little side hustle going on. And he's now no longer in a part of the equation. And then I felt so bad for the constable, him being beaten like that. So I hope he recovers. They didn't say, how he was doing. So I know he was doctored by Sarah, but we didn't really get an update on him after that. And Sammy is free from his prison now, thanks to the Governor General being killed. General Governor, whatever he was. So, like I said before, that was not the ending I expected for him. I expected, somebody to tell him off, or I expected him to be the bad guy and have everything turn on him. And if there was an old Tom, for there to be like a day of reckoning kind of situation. But that didn't happen. And I don't know who did it. So, Dredge was out there. And who was the passenger he was speaking to that would make him cry? I wonder who that was. It wasn't the Viscountess. Not that I know. I do remember the name Emily de Havilland sticking out in my mind, but I don't know what was significant with that. I don't know if I just made up some significance or if there really was something earlier in the book that seeing her name triggered it. So I don't know. Maybe it was her. No clue. Yeah, it's just layer upon layer. I think this may actually end up being a combination of people. So I think Leah would have the smarts to pull off something to cause some pandemonium and to help her mother escape from her father. So that was my theory at first, because it's like, okay, everybody was sicking old Tom on her father, and she definitely has motive, trying to protect her mother and herself. She was mistreated by him. She had the intelligence to know that she could use men's fears and superstitions to her advantage and actually have them, do her dirty work under the guise of old Tom. So, but I can't see her framing the constable like that. So I don't think she was necessarily involved in the folly, theft. So, like I said, there might be multiple people. We might have multiple scenarios going on at once that's just all feeding to make this great storm of trouble. And we still haven't, there's another crate, right? Because he brought on a crate before everybody boarded the first night. And there's been no mention of that, but it's somewhere in the ship. So much still to question. But I want to say, I think it's definitely, there's no supernatural. I don't think There's actually a supernatural element. Although the thing with the red lantern, the eighth lantern at the end, that had some creepy vibes to it. But again, Leah does have the intelligence to, create a fog and maybe orchestrate, having somebody out there she could... Well, the storm threw him off course, so I don't know if she could have predicted for another vessel to be able to arrive where they are. I don't know. I've speculated so much that my head's spinning. And one thing I've noticed that I do when I'm reading a mystery or a thriller or something like this, I speculate really heavily at the very beginning of the book, all the way through like the first 3/4 of it. And then as we get closer to the end, then I kind of just let all of that go, and I just immerse myself in the story and just let everything unfold. Because it's kind of like Christmas. It's fun to kind of guess what the presents are, but I don't really want to guess what's in the present, because where's the fun in that? And then you open it and you're like, yeah, I was right. So, and I think I kind of take the same approach with my mysteries. I like to guess and speculate until I get to a certain point, and then it's like, okay, now I just want to sit back, enjoy the ride, and be surprised. So I don't know. I don't know what's coming. But does anybody else find that they take the same approach to a mystery? You don't really want to guess too hard when you get to the end, because you want to relish in the big reveal moment. So I don't know. I hope y'all are still enjoying the book. And I don't know. I have a sinking suspicion that I didn't really comment that much today. There was just so much going on, and I just kept reading. For one, it was like, okay, if I comment on every significant event, I would just be repeating the entire story, because so much happened. All right, well, y'all voted. And in fact, let me pull up the poll and see if any significant changes have happened with that. But y'all definitely had a clear opinion earlier. I think it was 24-1. Finley's playing with my cord again. He's sitting in my lap. No! By the way, if you haven't noticed it, what I'm going to start doing, if I have odd footage of my cats causing havoc, then I'm going to start putting them at the end of the video. So if you missed it yesterday, Finley was attacking my cord for my microphone, and he's doing it again. He's in my lap. So he's right here. All right, let me pull up the poll and see where we stand. I was so glad y'all found that, by the way. Okay, we had 30 votes, and 87% say 2 stops, they want the extra stop, and 13% said no, just continue on to the end. So whoever it was that wanted to go straight on to the end, I'm sorry, but you have been outvoted. So we will be adding an extra stop, which, based on what happened today, I would assume, it might not be a bad idea to have that extra. So that means we are going to be going to 91% this time. Let me find all of my notes, because I'm still not organized. I have these written down in 3 different places. I didn't even coordinate it onto one sheet of paper. Of course. Okay, so this will be our 5th stop. We're going to page 440 in the Paperback and Kindle edition, which is my edition. Then in our other paperback, which has a total of 548 pages, you should be stopping on or about page 498. On the hardcover book, that will put you at page 412. And then for the audiobook listeners, should take you up to 15 hours and 28 minutes. And of course, look in the vicinity of these pages or timestamps, because it might be off just a little bit. So in our magical paragraph is, this was Old Tom's Island, and it had brought them here for ... I can't even... I don't know. So there we go. This will be our next By the way, if you have been silently reading along and watching the videos and everything, but haven't wanted to comment, I'm glad you are here. And if you don't mind, I'd love it if you just say hi and where you're from, because it still blows my mind that I'm doing this in Texas for a book that was chosen by Kim, who is in England. And I know we've got Pagey Girl out in Australia. So it'd be fun to know what area everybody else is in. So if you're in another state, country, whatever, I'd love to know where you are. Not that I'm going to come looking for you or anything. Don't worry about that. Well, I'm going to try to get my Sims video edited and maybe slip that in there while we're still finishing this up. We'll see. I don't know if I can pull it off or if I'm just off my rocker for even considering it. But October is winding down quickly. So I'm going to go work on that. And I will see y'all either with the Sims or with our next stop. And I can't wait to hear what you think about what happened today. All right. Y'all have a great one. Bye now.